Welcome to your 60-minute flow class. Just like any yoga class you take, I want you to listen to your body. If you're a little tired today and you need to take Childs, take it down a notch and join us when you're ready. And the same goes for adding on. Make this class yours and let it be fun. We're going to start today's class in Sukhasana, just easy cross-legged seat. Either leg on top is fine. If this is uncomfortable, sit with legs straight or knees slightly bent. But I want you to take your palms facing down on your knees. Go ahead and close your eyes and relax your posture slightly. Take your chin to your chest. You can even let the shoulders round and maybe even the back round. Before adding any connection to the breath or any activation into your body, I just want you to connect with your body. A lot of times where we are emotionally really affects our physical practice. Let's begin class by setting an intention, something that's going to make our practice mean a little bit more than just the physical. Something I really like to start with is gratitude. Never practicing with any specific outcome, never practicing with a certain goal in mind, just being really grateful for what our bodies have to give us and just letting our practice unfold. Let's seal that in with our first breath. Take a nice deep inhale. Start to sit up a little taller. As you inhale from the low belly, bring your shoulders up into your ears. And then nice big exhale, roll them down the back body. Keeping your eyes closed, just start to feel your posture. Every deep breath in starts to lengthen your low back, all the way up through the crown. And every exhale, can you slightly draw your rib cage down to your hips, finding a little more control over your low belly. Every exhale, grounding into your hips, feeling the mat underneath you. And starting to lengthen it out, maybe even creating an ujjayi breath. That slight little forced whisper in the back of your throat. Just slow and steady, letting every inhale and every exhale start to pull your mind away from anywhere that you've just been, any plans you have for the rest of the day, and be right here, right now in this moment. It's just you and your mat. And take our last breath here. Nice and slow, blink your eyes open. Let's roll over onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes and make your way up into your first down dog. So the first down dog, I like to treat this as all yours. Without really refining it, just move into your body. If it feels good, we can start to pedal into the knees, pedal into your heels, maybe sway your hips. Just giving yourself time to open up, time for your hamstrings to lengthen, for a little heat to build in your shoulders. And then nice and slow, walking or maybe one big step. Let's come to the top of your mat. And a wide leg straddle forward fold, Uttanasana. Feet are hip distance apart. Can grab opposite elbow or completely hang free. But keep that connection to your breath. So every inhale, we're gonna start to hollow out the low belly. And then every exhale, use your core to start bringing the crown of your head a little closer to the mat. Let's take an inhale and lengthen halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, shoulders draw back. And with your exhale, step your left foot back, lower your left knee down, and straighten your right leg half split. Flex your right toes. And with an inhale, again, come up on your fingertips, draw your right hip up and back. With an exhale, magnetize your left hip forward and down. And totally relax. Soften your neck. Let's try to keep your hips above your back left knee. So we're really actively trying to pull the right hip up and back. I'm really, really active in my hamstring, even though the rest of my body is in this surrender. I'll go last 3 breaths. With your next inhale, rebend into your right knee. Melt your hips forward and down as if you want to touch your right hamstring to your right calf. And with an inhale, sweep your arms up. Interlace your hands into Kali Mudra, so every finger except pointer and thumb, open your chest. as if we're trying to bring our biceps back behind our ears, really lifting your gaze like a little string is pulling your heart up. Last inhale. And with your exhale, frame out your front right foot with both hands. Tuck your left toes. We'll step back to plank pose. So find a minute here and set it up. We'll start with the hands, gazing down at your hands. Make your fingers really active. I like to press my fingertips down, placing the majority of my weight and the biggest connection to my mat in the knuckle of my pointer finger, the third row of knuckles. I'm trying to stay out of my wrists. I'm going to shift a little further forward on my toes. And then notice what's going on. Notice if you feel like you're collapsing and how you can resist that. My plank that I teach is really, really active. It's a really high plank. So I'm rounding my back, almost like cat pose. I'm starting to firm up my quads and pull my navel up into my spine. Every single muscle is active except my neck. So take that little scan from your toes all the way up. Coming up to your arms, spiral your biceps forward. Wrap your triceps back, and then even bring your chest into this. Squeeze your forearms. And again, it's kind of like that's yoga, right? I say, do this, do this, do this, and then forget it all and just breathe. Let's take our last breath here in plank. And then from your low belly, pull your hips all the way up and back. Single leg down dog, sweep your right leg up, bend your knee and open your hip. Let's take a nice inhale, come high on your left toes. With an exhale, gently flipping all the way over, dancer's bridge or Kamakharasana. Open your chest. I know it's early, so ease into your back bend. Press your hips up, open your chest. Finding your core as you do this. Ground into your left hand. Carefully bring your right knee to your chest. And then we'll step forward, coming all the way down into lizard lunge. Lower your left knee. Come onto your hands or maybe your forearms on the inside of your right foot. The way I like to practice is I move in my stretches, so you're welcome to find that little rock. I just want you to make sure that your knee is in line with your big toe. If you're adding the twist, right hand to your right thigh, you can even start to bring your gaze up. One more deep breath in. Place both hands back on the inside of your right foot. Tuck your left toes, and we'll come back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax. Let's inhale, lengthen with the breath, halfway up. Taking a gentle twist, bend your left knee. Keep your left hand under your left shoulder. Sweep your right arm up, lift your gaze. If you're wanting a little more in the shoulders, half bind. Right hand behind your back. Last inhale. And with your exhale, come back down to center. Again, inhale for length. With your exhale, we'll switch it out. Bend your right knee. Sweep your left arm up. And if you took the half bind, we'll find it here. Left hand behind your back. Use the half bind as a self-assist to roll your left shoulder open. If it's closing you off, release it. Let's take our last inhale. And then again, gently release back to forward fold. One more time, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. And this time with your exhale, step your right foot back, lowering your right knee, half split on the second side, straighten your left leg. Inhale as you pull your heart forward. Exhale, ease on down. We'll be here for 5 breaths. So much of yoga is internal engagement. So as you're folding over your leg, keep reminding yourself to draw your left hip up and back, finding the slight engagement on your inner thighs, right hip forward and down. Next, inhale, bend into your left knee, sweep your arms up, Kapiyasana. As if you want to touch your right thigh to the mat or your left hamstring to your left calf. Go deep in your hips. This is not just a back bend, but it's a lot of psoas on the back leg. Open your chest. And gently frame out your left foot. Tuck your right toes, and we'll come back to plank pose. So all those things apply. Take a moment to feel it. I like to think of trying to lengthen my arms as if I want to press them through the mat, all the way through the floor. Thinking of how much space can I create from my chest to the mat? How much lift can I find? As if I'm actively pressing something away from me. The more that I'm engaging in plank, and this really goes for any pose, the easier it is. And it seems counterintuitive, but the more I work, it's almost like the less I have to work. Because I'm not fighting the pose, all my muscles are working together. Let's take one more breath. And then again, from the low belly, all the way up and back, downward facing. We'll sweep your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip, and come nice and high on your right toes. Make this graceful. Make it fluid. Stay strong in your right hand as we come all the way over. Dancer's bridge. Inhale, press your chest up. Open your heart. And then slowly, we'll start to bring your left thigh to your chest. Grip the mat with your right hand. How gracefully can we step forward into lizard lunge? Lower your right knee down. And we'll come back to the hands or forearms on the inside of your left foot. Left knee in line with your left big toe. If you want the twist, let's take your hand to your thigh and start to ease your chest open. Good. Place your hands in the center, tuck your right toes, and one more time we'll step forward. This time let's take our toes together in Uttanasana, heels slightly apart. We'll lengthen halfway up with the breath, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down. Let's come all the way up to standing Urdhva Hastasana. Arms overhead, gaze up and see your palms touch. With an exhale, hands to your heart, draw your rib cage down, contract your core. Inhale, sweep up, gaze up. Exhale, long spine, lengthen and fold. Halfway up with your breath. Let's step back first time around to plank pose. If you're wanting to flow through your vinyasa, we'll get there, but first time, find a little more control. Everything stays the same in plank, all of our cues, but this time we're gonna add in chaturanga. So keeping a nice stiff body, shift even further forward, shoulders above your fingertips. Keep your gaze forward and slowly lower. Untuck your toes. Pull your hips forward towards your wrists as you open your chest upward facing. From the low belly, downward facing. Hide your heels behind your calves. And try to find your hands just as active as they are in plank pose. Spiraling your biceps forward. Wrap your triceps under. If you're stepping, try to make it one big step. Otherwise, with an inhale, lift your heels and really lightly let's float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. All the way up with the breath, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Step, float, or fly it back. Lowering through chaturanga. Inhale, create your back bend. Exhale, downward facing. Again, make it light, make it graceful. How quietly can you float? Set it up, bend your knees. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you rise. Hands to your heart. Inhale, easy back bend if you're feeling warm. Lengthen and fold. Halfway up. Your vinyasa, stepping, floating, flying it back. Inhale for the back bend. Exhale, down dog. Let's take one more just like that. Inhale, lift your heels. Stay strong in your hands as you float. Lengthen. Fold. Last time. Urdhva Hastasana, stand up, gaze up. Hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen, inhale, halfway. Step or float back. Stay strong and steady as you lower with resistance. Inhale. We'll come up and back. 5 breaths in downward facing. Let's bring your feet together at the back of the mat. Try to keep this shape. Toes will touch. Easy space between your heels. Let's bend your knees again, gaze forward, and this time we'll float to chair pose, Utkatasana. Check your depth with your middle fingers. With an inhale, sit your chest up nice and tall. Let's gaze down, make sure you can still see your big toes, but think of lifting from your back body. So I'm trying to sit up really, really tall, shoulders above my hips, sinking back into my heels, so maybe I can even start to lift my big toes. Just like down dog or plank pose, I want you to wrap your biceps in towards your face, and your triceps forward. Pinky fingers slightly scoop in. Inhale to root to rise. Exhale, reset. Check your depth, bend your knees. Chair pose, one breath here. And with an exhale, lengthen and fold. Halfway up, inhale. Step or float back. Keep a nice strong breath as you lower chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Sweep your right leg up with an inhale, come high on your left toes. Exhale, knee to your nose. Warrior one, back foot's on a 45. Keeping your anchor in your back left foot, try to pull your left hip forward. Squeeze your right hip back. You can even start to feel one hand on your belly and one hand on your low back, lengthening your tailbone down. Inhale, let's gaze up, see your palms touch. With an exhale, shift forward. Hovering your chest above your thigh. Lift straight up, warrior three. Hopefully your hips are still square. Let's take one more breath in. Back to chair pose, left foot meets your right. Sink into your hips, sweep your arms up. We'll take the twist this time, hands to your heart. We'll twist to the right. Notice where your thumbs are. Notice if they're up really high by your right shoulder, and if you can use your hands as leverage to bring them closer to your left shoulder, keeping that little bit of space from your belly to your mat. Gaze down for balance. Let's pick up the left knee. And without setting your foot down, we'll slowly extend it back. Do your best. Without touching your left foot down, bring your left knee back in towards your left shoulder. And then again, nice and slow, we'll extend it back out. One more time. Bring it back in. And ease it back out. Woo. Crescent lunge. Stay on the ball of your back foot. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back and lower chaturanga. Inhale for your up dog. Exhale, down dog. And come straight to the second side. Inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, knee to your nose. Big step forward, warrior one. Right foot's on a 45. Take a minute and feel your pose. To me, warrior one, even though it's a pose that most of us learn right away, is actually one of the most advanced. It's all these opposing actions. Take your hands to your heart. Gently press up. Warrior three. Right toes meet your left, chair pose. Sweep your arms up. Let's take your hands to your heart, and we'll twist to the left. But doing your best to keep your knees in line. Doing your best to keep the crown of your head slightly lifted. Just bring your gaze down for balance. And we'll gently bring your right knee up towards your right shoulder. And then extend it back. And do these slowly. And bring your right knee back in. And back out. One more time, knee in. Knee out. Crescent lunge. Staying on the ball of your back toes. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, lower strong. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Let's go through our modified B series one more time. Toes together at the back of your mat. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Chair pose.
Sink into your hips. Send the weight back. Inhale, stand. Exhale, connect. One breath, chair pose. Sink down deep, lift your chest high. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step or float back. Keep the breath strong as you lower. Inhale. Exhale. Right away, right leg up with an inhale. Step through warrior one, 5 breaths. Hands to your heart, warrior 3. Toes together, chair pose. Hands to your heart, twist to the right. Gazing down, lift your left knee up. And we'll extend it back. And bring it back in. Extend it out. Bring it in. Extend it out one more time. Knee in. And we'll step back, crescent lunge. One breath in. Plant your hands. Take your vinyasa, we'll meet in down dog. Last time, left leg up. Knee to your nose, step between your hands. 5 breaths in warrior 1. Hands to your heart. Warrior 3, press up. Feet together, chair pose. Hands to your heart, twist to the left. Right tricep, left thigh. Gaze down and move with your breath. Right knee lifts. Extend it back. Pull it in. 2 more. Doing good. Work with your breath. This is my bad side. 1 more time. Extend it out. Pull it in. And we'll step back to crescent lunge. 1 breath in. Exhale, vinyasa. We'll meet back in downward facing. This time in down dog, reset. Reset your breath. Reset the way you hold the pose. Sometimes we're just using down dog as kind of a rest. But this time I want you to make it really active. Keep actively pressing your hips up and back. Keep actively pressing them out away from you. Let's take an inhale, sweep your right leg up. I'm gonna step maybe halfway down my mat. Not quite between my hands, but taking a shorter stance. Bring your back foot to a 45, just like warrior 1. Hands to your hips, and we'll slowly come all the way up. Keeping your right leg straight, draw your right hip back. Left hip towards the right big toe. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lean forward and fold all the way in. So really similar to our half split. Parshvottanasana. Pyramid pose. Any options with your hands? I like to crawl mine back just to increase the stretch on my right leg. You can find prayer behind the back if you want to add a little balance. Relax the back of your neck. And keep the balance in this pose in your inner thighs. Let's come back up, releasing any options with your arms. Take an inhale and lengthen halfway. Step your left hand closer to the inside of your right foot. If you're pretty flexible in your outer right hip or hamstring, we can even cross over. And with an inhale, find your twist. Open your chest, and maybe we can even start to bring the gaze up. And take your time with this. If you have a block at home or something similar, a book that you can use to elevate your heart. Props aren't always necessarily there to take the pose down. We can definitely find a lot of benefit with props and take it up a notch. Let's take one last breath and then slowly release your right hand back down. Step your left hand 5 inches in front, slight bend in your right knee, revolved half moon. Lift your left heel the height of your hip, and again, reach your right arm up. I like to stay on the fingertips of my left hand because I want to keep lifting my chest. So notice where you're at. Are you really heavy in your bottom left hand? And can you start to find that little bit of lift? Keeping your left heel the height of your hip, square your chest back off to the mat, bring your right hand to your heart, and slowly your left hand, warrior three. Good micro bend, and float all the way back, crescent lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. Keep the hover of your chest above your thigh. Shift forward and press straight back up. Warrior three. Good, bend your right knee, crescent lunge. Inhale your arms up. Chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. Press up, warrior three. Good, rebend, crescent lunge. Chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. Lift up, warrior three. This time, nice and slow, bring your left knee into your chest, and we'll come all the way up to standing. So take a minute here and feel your balance. Bring your right hand to your left knee. If you can straighten your leg, you can bring your right hand to the outer edge of your left foot and begin to take your twist. Opening your chest to the left wall, maybe even bringing your gaze back. Let's take one more breath. And then nice and slow, cartwheel your hands down, standing split. We're gonna take 5 breaths. I'll let this be an option. You can open or close your hip. I prefer to open. Maybe even bringing one hand to your calf. If you wanna play with handstands or any inversions to get you off your legs, that's fine too. Do your practice. This class is way more about you and what your body needs today. So if you need to take it up, if your body needs that, go for it. If you need rest and you need a forward fold, that's fine too. Let's take one more inhale. If you are upside down, let's start to bring it back. And then we'll slowly step your left foot back. Take your left hand under your left shoulder and twist, right arm up. Notice where your knee is. Try to keep your right knee above your right big toe, above the heel, so it's not collapsing inward. Firm up your bottom left hand. Spiral your bicep forward. Wrap your tricep back and really grip the mat with your left fingertips. I'm gonna come onto the outer edge of my left foot and flip my dog all the way over. Inhale, press your hips up. Press your chest up. With an exhale, plant your right hand. Right knee to your right tricep. I'm gonna take it low, chaturanga. Press straight back up. Flip it over. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, again, right hand down. Right knee, right tricep, chaturanga. Press it up. Flip it over. Inhale. Exhale, same thing. Press it up. Inhale, doing good. Let's take 2 more with your breath. Lower, lift, flip and open your chest. 1 more, you guys. Plant your right hand. Lower, lift, flip your dog. We're gonna come all the way down, have a seat. Reach your right hand towards your left toe and relax your forehead. Take a minute. Find your breath. Ease your way up. Scoot to your left slightly. So you're facing the back of the room. Come onto your back. Squeeze your knees in. Feel your low back connected. And then bring your heels straight up. So if you have open hamstrings, your feet are going to want to come in towards your body. I want you to keep your heels above your hips. And if you're looking for a little bit more, bring your feet even further away from you. Take your palms facing down. We're going to start to create circles to the right, maybe about the size of a beach ball or a little smaller. As you're circling, try to keep it really smooth, like your big toes are just drawing these nice big circles.
And if you're not feeling enough, let's bring your heels down a little further. Low, low belly stop. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Keep your legs up. Flex your feet this time. Shoulders stay down. Crown of the head stays down. It's just going to be the hips lifting and lowering. But same idea, if you can lift them higher than ½ an inch, bring your heels away from you to increase. So just teeny tiny lifts of your heels straight up. Trying not to let your feet come in towards your body. Just lifting your hips enough so maybe you could slide a piece of paper under them. And go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come back to the circles. Point your toes. And again, to the right. Maybe taking your feet a little lower this time. Sometimes I find the lower I bring my feet, the more I feel this in my psoas or my quads. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the pulses, straight up. Last little push here with core. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees in. Nice deep breath in. Let's rock back up to sitting. I want you to keep your left leg straight and this time scoot over to the right. Placing your right foot heel close to your glute, off your mat. Left hand comes behind you, grip it. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. We'll come back to our Kamakkarasana, our dancer's bridge. And then with an exhale, plank pose. Plant your right hand, readjust your feet. Biceps forward. I say these cues over and over, but they're always good reminders. Round the center of your back. Pull your navel to your spine, come a little higher on your toes, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, down dog. Reset your breath. Inhale, sweep your left leg up. Knee to your nose, let's step halfway down the mat. Right foot's gonna be on a 45. Hands to your hips as you slowly roll up to standing. Set it up, align your nose with your left big toe. Low belly pulls in, lengthen from the low back upward. And then we'll try to keep that length from the side body and fold over. Pyramid pose, Parshvottanasana. Same options with the hands. I'm gonna lengthen my stance just because I do have open hamstrings. And I wanna take it a little deeper. So adjust accordingly. Same idea here, you can take prayer behind the back. You can start crawling your hands towards the back right foot. But try to really relax your neck. Keep your right hip pulling forward. Your left hip lifting up and back. And with an inhale, we'll come back up. Placing your right hand either closer to your left foot or maybe on the pinky edge side. Take your twist. Reach your left arm up. And not just your hand, but try to open from the shoulder. Really, really twisting nice and deep. If your balance is there, lift your gaze. Last inhale, nice and slow. Lower your left hand back down. Step your right hand 5 inches forward. Fingertips or maybe a block. Let's stand straight up on your left leg, right heel the height of your hip. And then again, left arm up.
Stay active in your back right quad. Keep lifting your right heel the height of your glute. And find your balance. Take it slow. Let's bring your left hand to your chest as you square your shoulders. And maybe the right hand can lift. Warrior 3. Keep a micro bend in your standing leg so we're not locking out the kneecap. And then slowly, crescent lunge. Float your right toes back. Adjust your stance if you need. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Lengthen your tailbone down. With an exhale, chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. Keep pushing off your right big toe and smoothly come all the way up. Warrior 3. I know it's a lot of outer hip. Float back, crescent lunge. Inhale. Chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. Keep the space from your belly to your thigh. And then again, we'll press. Crescent lunge. Inhale. If you're wanting the added challenge, lift your gaze. Anytime you change your gaze, chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. When you change your gaze, it will challenge your balance. Warrior 3. Your strongest point of balance is always going to be the floor. Last time, let's come to crescent lunge. And the more you lift your gaze up, the harder you can challenge yourself. Final time here, chest to thigh, arms come back like wings. And we'll press up, warrior 3. Slowly right knee in. Ooh. Come all the way up. Left hand to your right knee, maybe the outer edge of your foot. Twist. Standing splits, lower your hands. Sweep your right leg up. Same idea, yogis. 5 breaths. This class is yours. Standing split, handstand, maybe a forward fold if you just need that release in your left hip. And then nice and slow, if you are inverted, let's bring it back. Lower your right toes down. Right hand under your right shoulder. We'll twist, left arm up. Lift your gaze. Be mindful of your left knee. Start to grip the mat and really find control in your right hand. Bicep forward. This is going to protect your wrist. So if you notice you're having tender wrists, be more mindful of how you place your hands and how much awareness you have in your hands and in your forearms. Let's come onto the outer edge of your right foot and we'll flip it all the way over. Inhale, open your chest. Keep pressing the crown of your head forward. Right shoulder stays above the right wrist. Plant your left hand. Left knee to tricep chaturanga. Press it up. Flip it over. Inhale. We're going for 5. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, you guys. Inhale. Exhale. Open nice and wide. Let's flip it back over and have a seat. Left hand towards your right toes. Take a minute here and catch your breath. Good. Ease your way back up. Scoot over to the right, and we'll come back down onto your back. We'll take your heels up. Same idea, starting with our circles, but this time we're going to circle to your left. So feel how far your feet need to go forward or back to start feeling the engagement in your low belly. Palms down. Just smooth circles to the left. If you're wanting more, bring your heels lower. We'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
And 1. Heels stay up. Flex your feet, those little pulses. Just the hips. Straight up, trying not to let your shins or your toes come forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to our circles. To the left. We'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Challenge yourself here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Back to center. Final time. Just the hips for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Inhale. Rock all the way back up. Let's scoot over to your left just a little bit. Right hand behind your back. Inhale, press your hips up. Open your chest. Same grip of the mat in the right hand. Let's bring your left knee in, and we'll come all the way back to plank pose. Resetting here. Let's do one final hold. Engage your hands, pressing down into the third knuckle. Lift the center of your chest up. I really like to focus on bringing my ribs down to my frontal hip points. So finding that tiny little contraction every time I exhale. Let's go for 10 breaths. Last 5. Good. Shift forward. We'll lower all the way down. Chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing. All the way up and back. Downward facing. Sweep your right leg up. Bend your knee. Open your hip. And this time we're going to come forward. Pigeon pose. So this is going to look a little different in all of us. I like to bring my foot horizontal, but I've opened outer hips. So if your heel is all the way in, it's the same thing. I want you to focus on squaring your hips first. If you need a block under your right hip, you can place a block under your right hip. Lengthen your left leg down the mat, untuck your toes. And when you're ready, we'll just start to crawl it forward. For a lot of us, this part of class is going to be more difficult because when we find stillness in the body, that's when our minds start to act up. So if that's what's going on for you today, I want you to come back to that intention. Whether it was the intention of gratitude or something a little more personal to you, just remind yourself of that. Trusting in the process. Trusting that every time you're on your mat, you are making a difference. Not just physical, but it's the inside work as well. Let's go last 30 seconds or so. Just trying to soften. Where can you relax? Are you holding tension in your shoulders? Nice and easy. Come back to center. Crawl your way back up. I want you to lean onto your right hip and bring your left leg around double pigeon before we come to the second side. Find your heels above your knees or close to it. Shins stacking. Feel in front. If you are a little more open or if you need to be a little more closed, depending on your flexibility, adjust. Inhale, lengthen upward. Try to stay grounded in both hips. And then we'll reach forward. So all this outer hip work we did, this should feel pretty nice. Crawl yourself in And then relax. If you are unable to crawl your hands out, sitting upright is just fine. Let's take our last inhale. And then slowly bring it back up. If you want to pass through down dog just to keep balance in your body, that's fine. Otherwise, ease onto your left hip. We'll just come straight to the second side. Same idea, taking a moment to set it up, finding a little length in your back leg. Square your hips and your chest forward, and we'll crawl it all the way out. And relax. Close your eyes. Last 10 breaths. I could probably hang out in pigeon all day. This is one of my favorite stretches. But if you don't feel the same, I'll move on. We'll come to double pigeon. So same idea. We'll take the right shin on top. Trying your best to stack your shins. Ground into your hips. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. We'll crawl forward or simply stay sitting upright. I know this one's pretty intense. 10 breaths only. Do your best to relax. And ease your way back up. Give your legs a little assist out. If they need a windshield wiper, we can windshield wiper them or give them a little shake. Let's take our last hamstring stretch. Forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen upward. Remember the breath. Pull your navel to your spine. I just want you to think of length, 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 length. And then when we find our depth, we'll relax all the way down. There's two ways to go about forward fold. We can stay really active here, pulling on our heels as I'm doing now, or even if you have a block and you want to place it in front of your heels, we're actively pulling ourselves in. And then there's the more yin or yang way, where you surrender. And that's really nice as well. So I encourage you to try both, just full on relaxing. Letting time and gravity take over. And we start to work a little deeper. Nice and slow. Let's ease our way back up. This time we'll come all the way down onto your back. Let's take your knees into your chest. Reaching up for the outer edges of your heels, happy baby. Keep your heels above your knees. Try to keep your shoulders grounded if you can. And sometimes it feels good to take this little rock side to side, lowering one knee closer to the mat, and then the other. And bring your knees back in. Let's find our final twist. Your right knee's gonna stay in. Relax your left leg down the mat. Inhale, fill your lungs. With your exhale, we'll take our twist. Knee to the left, bottom hip to the left. We'll take our gaze to the right. Ease your way back to center. Reset Apanasana, both shins in. Reground your low back. And we'll switch, relax your right leg. Inhale, fill your lungs. Exhale, take your twist, knee to the right. Gaze to your left. And again, one last time, come back to center. Let's bring both of your knees in. Ground your low back. We'll take our last controlled breath. So as you inhale, allow your tailbone to lift. Allow your belly and your ribcage to pull up tight against your quads. Keep filling your lungs. With a big open mouth exhale, let it all go. Taking a moment to set up your Shavasana, guide your heels to either corner of your mat. Relax your palms down by your sides facing up. Make any adjustment you need of your body, of your clothing, and then allow yourself to come into total rest, total stillness. No more effort of the breath, no more effort of your body. Shavasana. I encourage you guys to take at least 5 minutes in Shavasana. If you have more time in your day, then take more time in Shavasana. And when you're ready, let's just gently bring your knees back into your chest. We'll roll over onto our right side, cradling your head in your hands. And then press into your left palm. Take your time here, easing all the way back up. We'll close with your hands at your heart, chin at your chest, sealing in your practice, noticing your practice, and always coming back to gratitude. Thank you guys so much for sharing your practice with me. It's always, always my honor. Love and gratitude. Namaste.